Hey guys, this is Morgan from Japtalion and This Guy. This episode contains some serious information about the COVID-19 vaccines. I just wanted to say that this was before the findings with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that 1 in 1 million women under the age of 50 may be affected with deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot, and that is a possible side effect. So there are comments made to the contrary in this episode, but it was before we knew. A review of all the available data at this time has shown that the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, its known potential benefits outweigh its known and potential risks. So the pause has been taken off of it, and it is still available for a vaccine. I'm not a doctor. Eric's not a doctor, and Joseph's not a doctor. You should consult your regular physician and go into the vaccine educated instead of just grabbing the first one that comes along and taking my advice. Otherwise, my kids are on this episode, so listen to it and enjoy it, and don't make me come stomp your head in.
In a world with way too many podcasts comes Japtalion and This Guy, the podcast to end all podcasts. With some pieced together recording equipment, a couple loosely informed topics, and a coin, these three friends set out to forever change the next hour of your life.
Japtalion and This Guy is solely for entertainment purposes. Joseph, Eric, and Morgan are not professional researchers, investigators, or gynecologists. Not suitable for children.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another wonderful episode of Japtalion and This Guy. I'm Eric.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Joseph.
And in this corner, announcing Brian and Nathan.
I'm Brian, I'm the guest.
I'm Nathan. I'm Brian's brother guest.
Now,
Yeah.
Who are these two little short homeless people you brought in with you?
Yeah, so I have two of my kids, my oldest and my youngest, are here with us for maybe the first half of the show. Then they are going to go next door and play on their Switches, probably Fortnite or something like that. But yeah, my middle son is in the hospital, so I've got the other two kids, and I had them all week for spring break.
How is Landon?
I think it's hard to tell, man, because I'm getting conflicting information from different doctors and stuff. One doctor is completely worried and wants to run tests, and one doctor is like, well, as long as he eats, we can send him home. So, I don't know. No idea.
Which doctor was wearing flip-flops? Don't listen to that doctor. Little coconut drink with like an umbrella in it. Yeah, we're cool. So, one of you guys want to remind the listeners kind of the format of the show so they don't they're going to get lost, but give them a little roadmap.
Yeah, we get together and communicate how our weeks have been. We flip a coin, and one of us divulges a topic, and the other two listen politely.
You lie! You lie!
That's not what happens.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens.
You know what? Sometimes it does. You're right.
Sir, I call you a liar. How's you guys' week? Anybody have anything fun or interesting happen? Anything out of the ordinary? Unusual?
I've got a list. Joseph, you got a list too, don't you?
Yeah, mine's short.
Jojo, kick it off.
Okay.
So here's how our week went. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Joseph.
So I have a teenager that lives with me, my son.
What's his name?
Cash. And every once in a while, he says stuff to me, like funny stuff. So the other day, I was getting ready for work, and he told me that I look like a person who's about to drop a hip-hop album in the early 2000s.
Was it that day that you were wearing nothing but your coveralls?
Yeah.
No. No.
Oh, no, not the Boys to Men. Boys to Men.
I asked him about it. He said it was because my clothes were baggy, and I had like a baseball hat on, I guess, because that's my work disguise.
You did post a photograph the other week of yourself looking like Biggie.
I did, yeah.
You had the tilted crown on.
Put a lot of work into that.
Into your Biggie look?
Into my Biggie pick, yeah. Then
It was nicely done.
The other day, he actually cooked some food, too.
Shoot, what'd he cook?
What?
I railed on him for a long time about not helping out around the house. And all that effort got
You mean like verbally or with your fists?
verbally.
Okay, sure, we're all on the same page.
I mean, while I was doing it verbally, I was reminding him that I feel like I've run out of options other than using my fists.
Nice.
Because I don't know what else to do other than to just pull my belt off and just start beating them around the house. You know?
Like how the kids are giggling
That'd
about
be
this.
hilarious because they're imagining Joseph taking his belt off and swinging it at Cash.
His pants would probably fall down as soon as he took the belt off. So.
But he made cod. He
Oh, wow.
baked some cod in the oven. It was
Nice.
all buttery and delicious.
He likes cooking fish, doesn't he?
He does. Every time it's like a thing where he wants to cook, it always involves fish. And I try to tell him, I'm like, well, you know, the fish is like $30 a pound. You know, for this much fish, the cost of this fish, we could get a lot of hamburger. But he always wants fish for some reason.
It's these fish, cash can't resist. These fish, he can't resist.
Little bone spoon and some caviar.
We saw a movie together the other day. We went and saw this movie called Nobody because movie theaters are open, which is, I think, odd.
How was it in the movie theater? Was it crowded or not a lot of people?
No, it wasn't crowded. That was really cool. And we went to the nice movie theater over in Harbison. We usually go to Dutch Square.
Oh, man.
And he was like, when we were in there, he was like, I kind of prefer Dutch Square. I was like, yeah, I kind of know what you mean. There's just something about it. Maybe it's different for him than it is for me. But for me, it's like, I'm used to movie theaters just being kind of like that. Not with like reclining and cup holders and stuff, you know. But it was nice going to the nice theater.
Like gunshots outside of the theater.
At the Dutch Square one?
Yeah. Man, that thing's been falling apart since they put it up.
You know what movie is the only movie I've seen at that Dutch Square movie theater, and I think I was in 5th grade, and Vanilla Ice came out with the movie. It was called Cool as Ice, and a kid I went to school with won tickets from WNOK, and he took a couple of his friends, and I was one of them.
Oh, you had friends.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This guy. Yeah. It's crazy that Vanilla Ice had a movie.
That is a little, I don't remember Vanilla Ice having a movie.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that? So y'all didn't see Nobody? The
No.
movie Nobody?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see nobody, man.
It's like a action, kind of like an action movie. It's sort of like some of these references you will get, some of them you will not get. Like a John Woo, Deadpool, and Falling Down type movie. I could have used a little less Deadpool because I think the humor took away from the story. But, you know.
Yeah, we know you don't like laughter.
Well, it was kind of like there's this, you know, these scenes where he's like murdering people. People are getting murdered.
He's
And
making jokes.
People are getting their body parts broken and stuff. And I don't know. I'm watching it and I'm doing the same thing I do when I watch Batman movies. I'm like, what about this dude's family? You know? The movie was good. I just kind of felt like it could have been better. The real value of it was that Cash and I were spending quality time together.
Oh, okay. I saw the preview for this. It's Bob Odenkirk, and it's it's the
okay.
one
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
John Wick directors made this movie.
Okay.
Yes, I want to see it so bad.
It was good.
It's good. Good action.
Yeah. The like gunplay and stuff, and it was kind of cool. I sometimes do like a similar thing that Eric does, where I get hung up on some details.
Eric, is that what you do? You get hung up on some details.
It's been a long time since I blasted anybody with a shotgun.
I've never. Whoa,
When you
is that
shoot
something I
somebody,
do?
when you shoot somebody with a shotgun, they don't move through their body doesn't go flying through the air.
It's
Yeah.
not like not like an explosion that blows them back
Yeah.
20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff coming out moves through the body. The body doesn't move.
Right.
That's
And-
how a gun works.
If it were that powerful, the person shooting the gun would also fly back.
They
the
would
other
also
way.
go flying.
Yeah.
So there was some of that in there, and I just that always kind of I'm always like, ow, why are you doing
I
that?
watch people get shot in movies, and I'm like, that is not how you get shot. You would fall. That's what would happen. You would just
everywhere.
drop.
And yeah, like when someone gets shot, something hits them, they drop like potato.
Yeah.
Bag of potatoes or something.
I remember the old Beverly Hills Cop movies. He would like roll into a field of grass and then prop up on one knee and shoot somebody, and they'd like spin around and hit the ground.
Yeah.
Lame. Was that your list, Joseph?
Yeah, that's enough of me.
Yeah, nice. Dang, dude. I got Nathan talking to Brandy on the phone. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I should have put more details in that.
Nathan
Exciting.
spoke to Brandy one time.
Nathan talked to Brandy on the phone.
Cool. That's
Some-
really
Exciting.
interesting.
Something funny must have happened.
It's on your
He lost
list.
his tooth.
All right, scratch that one off.
Because your list is on.
So,
This is on my list.
Yeah,
see.
I messed up.
Because your list is on my list. Because your list is on my list.
Oh, the stupid test. The kids gave Joseph the stupid test. And he did.
failed.
First of all, Joseph did not like the title of it.
No, I didn't.
We're gonna give you the "you're worthless" test.
Like, they go, Joseph, you want to take the stupid test? He's like, no, I don't.
We forced him.
actually.
And he's still.
And then they start shooting questions at him.
I'm no fun with kids.
Nah, I'm not going to go into any more detail on that one either. The kids, you want to tell about the stupid test?
He failed it.
Do you want to give examples of questions on the stupid test?
If I failed it, does that mean I'm smart or stupid?
Ooh. Ooh.
Damn, you dumb.
Well, I feel like it should be renamed then. If failing it means you've achieved the title of the test.
Oh,
I feel like it's deceptive.
it is deceptive.
Maybe it should be the smart test. And if you fail it, you're stupid.
Like every test.
Then he failed it. He's failed.
Then it's just a test.
So what is the stupid test? Do you just like throw a brick at his head?
Talking to the mic, guys.
You want me to give you the stupid test?
Do it.
Sure,
Eric's
give me
like
the
the
stupid
smartest
test,
person in
unless
this
it
room.
involves touching
All
me
right.
in any way.
Oh, Eric's probably the second smartest person here.
Behind Brian.
Yeah.
Obviously. So, what color is your shirt?
Your mom.
Not even.
It's black.
What color is the sky?
Depends. Blue.
That's what I said.
What color is your pants?
Blue.
What color is the wall?
I don't know. Sky blue.
What color is my dad's shirt?
Gray.
What was the first question that I asked you?
Do you want to play the stupid test?
Correct.
That means you're stupid.
You passed. You're an idiot. Thanks. Get out. You're gonna be a good teacher one day.
I told the guys, Brian was like, so can I make a joke when they were talking about being on the show today? He's like, can I make a joke? And I was like, as long as you don't make fun of Joseph, Eric, or me, that's fine. And he was like, well, there goes my joke. Oh God. Okay. Another thing. This week, Dmx died.
Oh, I heard.
Really sad. He overdosed on drugs, had a heart attack, and was in critical condition most of the week. And everyone, I think, a lot of people on my Facebook anyways were it was almost like a Facebook vigil. Everyone's like waiting. He went brain dead and was on life support, and whatever. But yeah, he died this week, and it's very sad. And we had the thing where you were listening to DMX and changed the N word to Legos.
My Legos.
This is for my Legos.
Some Legos that you don't want to try.
Where my Legos at?
Some Legos that really do or die.
So,
I love it.
I feel like DMX was a huge part of my high school life. I used to bump that first CD and bought the Rough Riders album and Blood of My Blood.
Flesh of my flesh.
Yeah.
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 I'm like the whitest guy ever.
So that's a really sad thing that I feel like we could all kind of observe this week. Even though this episode's going to come out in a few weeks, I might as well have just said the date. What are you doing? Another thing that I've noticed since Lent's over now. I'm back on Facebook, and I guess it's been a couple weeks, or it's definitely been a few weeks, since I've been on Facebook. But we've talked a lot about hair removal products, body hair removal products on the show.
Yeah.
We constantly are talking about botched.
Yes. Scars and
burns, chemical burns.
Yeah. Getting the hedge climbers. The hedge climbers.
Hedge climbers.
So I open up my Facebook and I'm looking at the 70 freaking notifications I got, whatever. And then, you scroll through and there's ads for whatever. Now I'm getting all kinds of ads for like safe hair removal and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this isn't even me. I don't need this. This is Joseph's deal. I want to like forward all of it to him.
I don't need it. I'm good. I got this under control.
Oh, God, stockpiling Band-Aids.
That was a lie. You lie! You lie!
Nice.
A little bit of super glue. I'm fine.
I get like
Just glue it
annoyed
back together.
at the podcast advertisements. I went from, not making a podcast to making a podcast in 6 figures a year. See how I did it? Y'all don't get that on Facebook?
No, it must be stuff you Google.
Yeah. Because I look in to how to like advertise and all that stuff.
Somebody's looking into how to improve our show. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Well,
I've already started another project.
it has the opposite effect on me. Instead of wanting to look to see, because it's an ad, it's a lie anyways, but
Right.
instead of wanting like, oh, well, let's see how they did it, my immediate thought is, man, F that guy. We could do it ourselves. Don't need his help.
How about you guys, boys? How was your week this past week?
Yeah, anything
Did you
cool?
do anything fun?
Not really.
Not really. We didn't go anywhere.
We went to the mountains.
Oh, yeah? That wasn't fun, though.
It was.
Oh, okay.
We almost got arrested.
Brian just gave me a thumbs up. Whoa, tell that story.
So there's a lake up there, and we were standing ankle deep, because we had just gotten in. A cop walks up, and said, "Get out of the water before you drown."
Now,
So-
where's your, for those of us not familiar, where's your ankle?
They were seriously barely even wading in the water at Lake Lure. Lake Lure has like a beach around it.
That's where Dirty Dancing was filmed.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you,
really?
Brian. He dabbed.
Corny.
So there's like a bunch of people out there, and I was telling the kids, I was like, the water must be freezing because nobody's in the water, and they get in, they're like, oh, it's not that bad, and they're like just walking into the water, and I guess the cop said something to them, and I was busy probably looking at girls in bikinis, but the cop then started walking over to me, and he's like, they can't be in the water, and I was like, what? He said there's no lifeguard on duty, and I'm thinking like, I'm their dad. Do they need a lifeguard?
Are you not a lifeguard?
I'm not a lifeguard. I'm not trained in how to save people in water. And
For your children,
resuscitate
you've been
them.
their lifeguard since the day they were born.
Right.
It
It's
seems
been
like
a challenge.
If
keeping
anybody's
them alive,
vested in this, it's you.
Today,
God
that
knows.
may have been the day that without a lifeguard, you just randomly started drowning children.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear from their mom if they die. Come on, I don't want that backlash.
You would never hear the end of it.
No, but yeah. So
Really?
yeah, he was pretty intense too. He wasn't just like, "Hey, look, there's no lifeguards, so really you can't have the kids in the water." He was like, "No kids in the water. There's no lifeguard. They will die." Like what? I was
Thanks.
just like, okay.
What a fascist.
Can your mom get in the water? I'm about to meet your mom around the block. Can we get in the water?
But they did. They had a good time at the lake. We then went over to the river, and I let them get in the.
I
the
thought it was
river
fun.
there.
He thought it was cold. Well,
It was
The
heat.
river? It was freezing.
Jinx.
Thanks, Nate.
it wasn't freezing. I sat down in it.
Brian's not impressed.
Okay. Doesn't mean it wasn't freezing.
It was still freezing.
Yeah, we used to swim in the spring-fed rivers in Arkansas and southern Missouri, and those things are really cold. Like, they're really cold.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just...
But then there were other kids. There were other kids up a little ways, and they were like cutting backflips into it and stuff. And I'm like, Jesus. I was like, the water must be great. We get in, and I was like, oh crap, I can't take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian's definitely like sitting down in it and stuff. Like, oh my God,
Kids can handle that
they're
stuff.
gonna fall right off.
Man, when I was a kid, we'd just be driving down some country road in South Carolina and see like a mud hole on the side of the road. You ever do this? And I mean, not like, I mean, it was
As a
it was
kid,
big enough to swim in. Well, no, like we'd be driving down the road, and my dad would see it, and he's like, "Hey, let's go swim." And it's like this murky red clay colored water. There's no way I would get in that today. There's no way. As a kid, I'm like, YOLO. Coming out covered in leeches.
oh God, yeah. I thought, I watched what was it, Stand By Me, when we were kids. Speaking of leeches,
Yeah.
and I thought leeches were going to be a big problem in some of the places that I used to swim.
Yeah.
They weren't, but I used to think they were going to be like a huge problem.
I thought lava was going to be a bigger deal than it was when I was a kid.
And quicksand,
yeah,
and
quicksand.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, quicksand.
I mean, everything got stuck in quicksand, from Kit on Knight Rider to like the Dukes of Hazzard, like all the cartoons, everybody.
Ginger and Mary Ann.
Yeah.
Black holes used to freak me out. When I first heard about black holes, I just thought I was just going to get sucked up by a black hole one day.
You're sleeping and then you just get.
Yeah.
Or the thing with the earthquake, where the ground opens up, you fall in, and then it closes on you. That never happens.
Or aliens.
You're the only one who believes in that.
Me? No.
There are literally millions of people that believe in aliens.
There are a lot of people that will attest that they've been picked up by aliens.
Mm-hmm. I have not been picked up,
I have not either.
to my knowledge.
I welcome it. If you have our email, send us a...
Eric, how was your week?
Yeah, Eric.
It was all right. Did some work on the show this week. That was fun. I went back and watched the 2014 Godzilla.
Oh, nice.
And then went and watched. Dude, I don't think I'd ever seen that. It really got, man, I like a good emotional hook. Bryan Cranston's wife, he sends her to her death, like right at the beginning of the movie. I'm like, got him. It really, I like good emotional investment. Anyways, I thought it was a really good movie. And then I watched I've just seen Kong recently. So I rewatched the, King of the Monsters, where Godzilla fights like Mothra and all that.
Yeah.
And I did it backwards. I saw the new one first, and
That's
then I
what we
went
did.
back and rewatched the other ones. But it's an all right series. Man, I'll tell you one thing. Watching those really amazed me, thinking about Marvel again and all the correct decisions they had to make, all the things that had to fall into place, the casting, the sequence of events, the screenwriters, the plots, all of it had to like work out to this. How many years was it? Like
It was 10 years before they
10
got to
years?
Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah, 10 years worth of films to build up to that. I mean, the continuity between those 4 films in the MonsterVerse from Godzilla is not great.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
okay, yeah.
Is what I was thinking. I mean, it's all right, but Marvel, there's just no comparison. I love Marvel.
There isn't any comparison, you're right. And see, we watched the new one first and then went back and watched Kong. We didn't watch the Godzilla movies, but that was our plan, and we may still watch Godzilla and King of the Monsters. I was thinking the same thing, like, oh, that's neat that they tried to do this with the monsters. I think it's really neat that they did that, but yeah, it's no comparison. Even DC trying to do it, like they tried to do it too quick. Like within 4 years, they tried to do everything Marvel did in 10. And
It's funny because DC's just kind of owned. I mean, not really, but the sequence of events that happened with the Snyder Cut, and then the new Suicide Squad coming out. I believe the deal on that was it's the guy that directed and wrote Guardians of the Galaxy.
James Gunn. Yeah.
And he had gotten fired because of something that he wrote on Twitter like a decade ago or something that he had already apologized for. So what I heard is when he got fired, DC approached him and was like, hey, if you want to do a film, let us know. And he's like, I'd like to take a stab at Suicide Squad. So to me, it's kind of funny because DC's like, we're just going to keep reshooting the same films over and over again until we get a good version. Because, I mean, they've already revisited Batman so many freaking times.
Oh, my God.
The 1.5 reboot on Suicide Squad, I'm really excited about that one. It's just weird to me that they're, you know, you release a movie and then they immediately release a movie that erases the last movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, are we going to move on to the coin flip?
Dun, 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 dun. The kids wanted to stay in here for the coin flip.
Coin flip.
Coin flip.
That was my sting.
Yeah, really disinterested. Coin flip.
Hey, did I tell you guys I let the kids listen to a couple of the commercials?
I think you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were laughing hysterically at like
What commercials?
Skeptonomicon
Oh, okay.
and Black Pill and DB Cooper.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
Nice.
parachutes
DB
one.
Cooper was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to explain to them who DB Cooper was. I went through like a 2-minute summary of DB Cooper and what happened and everything. And I was like, okay, now we can listen to the commercial.
Oh, one last show thing.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
say we start doing movie reports.
I'm okay with that.
Have you been watching? Joseph, do you have Disney Plus?
Oh,
No.
Falcon and the Winter
Have you
Soldier.
been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, we
Please
just
don't
watched the
spoil
4th
it,
episode
please.
today.
Please don't spoil it.
I won't. I love the 4th. I gotta
Yes.
tell you, the first 3 was really.
It's
I wasn't really
like
getting
WandaVision.
into it. Yeah, I just wasn't. But this last one, like again with the emotional connections, like they really broke down the characters and their kind of motivation for stuff, like the new Captain America and
Yeah.
you know him struggling with things that I won't spoil.
Yeah, the
But,
ending to the 4th episode was like, oh, okay, here we go.
I like the symmetry of that moment to Civil War. Remember at the end of Civil War where him and Tony are fighting?
And he didn't. Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
I really like the symmetry of that and that image shot from him from the ground up where he's standing there with the shield and it's got like blood dripping from the bottom.
Yeah.
Noise.
Yeah.
Was.
Definitely good. What do you think about it, Nathan? Nathan's been watching it with me.
I like it a bunch.
Okay. You've been quiet over there, Nate.
I don't have an opinion because I haven't watched it.
Brian's not impressed.
All right, Brian. All right, calm down. We gave you opportunities to watch it.
Nate Dogg, Nate Money. Who's your favorite character, Falcon or Winter Soldier?
All right. Y'all give a round of applause for my friend Nate Dogg, Nate Money.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
real.
no one likes Falcon.
Oh, wow.
I like him. Just I like Bucky more.
Is
Yeah.
there any particular thing or trait about him that you don't like?
It's the wings.
Just like, I guess we're doing this. I'm not a big fan of Falcon either.
Yeah. Dude, he gave away he was given the title and the shield and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to pass it along to the museum because I'm a dork."
Isn't Falcon kind of like a government guy? Like he's sort of like working for the government?
Weren't they all? I mean, Captain America was, and
Yeah, but Captain America has like the principles thing going for him.
right.
I always thought
And
of
this dude kind of seems more like he's like a government dude who just kind of stands in close to the Avengers and stuff, keep an eye on them.
Maybe you're
That's the
thinking of
vibe
War
I get.
Machine.
I always thought of Falcon as kind of Cap's man, like whatever Cap does.
Yeah,
And
he's
when I say Cap, I'm talking about Captain America.
Not Captain Crunch.
Steve Rogers.
Cap Crunch.
Didn't Captain America had just skipped school to be a superhero?
Did he?
I think so.
No, I think he was done with school.
He was?
Yeah.
Adult
Yeah.
whenever he got
Mhm.
the,
He was a
whatever it is.
tiny adult.
He was just
Before.
yeah,
I was
That's what
Yeah,
I
he's-
thought so.
He was probably like 18 or something.
just a little guy.
I thought he was like 15.
No, I know because he was so small and Bucky like towered over him back in those days.
Oh, Bucky.
That's
All
like
right.
the worst name ever. Bucky. Hey, Bucky.
Bucky Barnes.
Bucky.
Sergeant James Barnes.
My
Where did they get
He
Bucky
sounds like
from?
one of those
Jay,
southern
who's
bad
here,
guys.
was that last week?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Buckeye. Or no. Yeah, it's Buckeye, isn't it? Or is it Bucky?
Bucky.
Oh, Hawkeye.
Bucky.
Hawkeye's the
Hawkeye.
Buckeye.
Oh,
This
Buckeye.
Midwesterner over here.
Yeah. I just go to Buckeye. Yeah.
Just making up Avengers. We got Buckeye. We got Fruit Loop. 2 Chains.
2 chains.
Yeah, Squeezy. We got old Squeezy over there. Green guy.
Oh God.
So coin toss. Coin.
I guess we're gonna do it now. Coin flip.
Who's calling it?
Should I flip to make
Wait.
this fair?
Do you want to? Yeah.
I do.
Oh,
want
Brian
to.
wants to
Oh,
flip.
Brian, flip it.
I want to flip.
Brian asked first. Well, Eric asked first.
Whose
Do
heads
it into the microphone.
Whose heads and whose tails?
Daddy's
Somebody's
head.
gonna
Who's-
call it.
Who do you want to call it in the air, Eric?
I don't care.
Daddy's
Not
head.
help.
All right, I'll call it in the air.
Joseph, call
There
it.
you go.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Heads.
Squares.
It's heads.
It was heads.
It's heads?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, thank God.
This concludes the
Coin flip.
Sounded like you called it before it made the noise of hitting the ground.
I think there's a delay
That's-
on the action there.
I'm calling
Like
your
the
kid a
sound and
cheater.
the
I'm calling
motion.
your kid out.
Let me see.
Look.
Us tails Joseph wins. Just kidding.
This was not a real
Coin flip.
Oh, yeah, I guess it makes more sense when I'm seeing it
Yeah.
like that. That's not really how a coin lands, but okay.
No, coins do not land standing up like that.
It like lands on edge.
Yeah.
I rarely flip a coin and get it to land on edge. With
All
the
right.
writing readable.
This concludes the commentary about the
Coin flip. I guess the kids are gonna go play their switches during the break and not join back into the show.
I might.
Until the end.
The kid part of the show is over.
Yes.
Nice.
Moving forward will not be kid friendly.
So escort your kids out of the room.
My offensive words are about to skyrocket.
From keeping them bottled up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight Tourette's when they leave.
Maybe we could write a commercial that include the kids because I'll have them the next time when we're editing this episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would like to do a commercial.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
How's your acting? Screw it. I taught Joseph how to act. I taught Joseph how to act.
And now I am an actor.
Oh, God.
Let's take a break. Let's break it up. Break it.
The remaining of the show will not be family friendly. Shoot your kids with shotguns and watch them fall back.
Have you found yourself in the position of being a parent but having no idea how to protect your children from drowning? Have you ever accidentally drowned your child during bath time?
I can't believe I lost another brother during bath time. I'm not telling Mom this time, Dad. Uh-oh.
Or felt incompetent when your children were splashing around in ankle-deep water with no lifeguard on duty?
Dad! Somehow Nathan is drowning in ankle-deep water. What do we do?
Help! I'm drowning.
Quick, get the lifeguard!
I don't see a lifeguard. Dad, help!
Jiminy crickets! I never learned how to be a lifeguard. I'm just a simple electrician. Well, say goodbye to your brother, son. There's nothing we can do. And Brian, you're gonna have to tell your mom this time, buddy. Never let this totally plausible and not ridiculous scenario happen to you. Morgan from Japtalion and This Guy and his children have created a 6-week course to train parents to become certified lifeguards. Parental lifeguards. This course teaches the Heimlich maneuver, CPR, and other basic water safety techniques and information. Also, check out our other informational courses for frustrated and/or incompetent parents, such as Time for the Belt with Joseph Antonio.
We'd like to give a special thanks to Brian, Nathan, and Landon for the creation of this commercial in this episode. Although Landon was not with us physically, he was with us in spirit. We hope you're feeling better, buddy. Now the 3 of you, go to bed. Also, this is not a real commercial. We advise you to carefully consider any parenting advice from Morgan and Joseph at your own risk. Lastly, never, ever, ever, and do I mean ever, take any parenting advice from Eric Clark. Thank you. All right. Welcome back to the show after the break. All right. I reminded myself of Annie's dad. Well, he had kind of a nasally thing going on. You remember him? Nice guy.
I do. Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Barely wore a shirt. Every time I was over there, no shirt.
Shirts off.
So back to the show. We did our coin toss.
Come on, guys. This needs to be the last time we talk about the
Coin flip.
And Morgan won. His kid said he won. I'm doubtful. I think your kid was cheating.
He was cheating on the coin flip.
Come on, guys. My brother hates repetition. He's gonna quit listening.
Coin flip.
Oh yeah, the kids are gone. So fuck, shit, dick, cunt, piss, lick, dick, fuck me, shit, no.
No.
I was holding all that in.
I like the no. That's like a cry for help. No.
Please make me stop. Annie laughed when I read her my text because I'm a child. I texted y'all Friday and said that Annie's upset because now she has to take the full force of my Ericness. She thought that was real funny.
There was a joke there, and I just couldn't deliver it. I don't know why. I didn't know the proper delivery of the joke.
Oh, did you check the email?
I did not.
Tom hooked us up.
He did.
I got a dick pic. He sent us a full body picture. It's not him. There's no way it's him.
You don't know that?
Did you look, Joseph?
I saw it, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's like hairless. Remember that thing?
I'm an artist, so.
The whole body's like hairless. I don't know if it's Tom. You all right, Morgan? Do you need some smelling salts?
He had brown nipples.
Oh, man.
I picture Tom's nipples as being brown.
Oh, God.
So I got a dick pic, but I don't know who it belongs to.
You know what? That was not Tom. That thing's not circumcised. That thing wasn't circumcised, was it?
I don't know. It was just kind of rolled up in itself. Mine does that sometimes, and mine's circumcised. Like, if it's cold or something, that thing will just go back up in the skin.
Yeah, it seemed really diminutive in that picture. Mine hangs like a piece of a intestine fell out of my stomach.
What did he just say?
Jesus. No, mine will revert back in, but I mean, I'm not, I'm not working with like an awful size. Just when I get cold, it gets really small.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, all right, let's all whip our dicks out.
Lay them on the table.
This is a Japtalion and this guy first. We're going to get weird.
Oh, first? Is it?
Oh, yeah. So we're going to start this topic, so I'll shut the fuck up.
So you guys know last week I said I won the coin toss also, and Joseph's like, wait a damn minute. How's this thing working?
You look so stoic. Your looks are killing me today.
I wanted to forego my topic because it wasn't prepared all the way.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
So I'm trying to wrap up my Nostradamus research this week. And I'm watching a biography channel, YouTube.
Yeah.
About Nostradamus, and Wikipedia is not a reliable source.
Did you read various opinions on Twitter?
So I did Wikipedia, and then but I also wanted more sources. So I'm looking at this video, and then they start giving conflicting stuff from the Wikipedia, and I'm like, fucking Wikipedia. So I go to Britannica and I look it up in Britannica, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same as Wikipedia is saying.
Oh,
so the video's fucking wrong.
You can't trust Britannica.
Yeah, they don't. They like just showed up last week.
Yeah.
They don't have a long history of documenting shit. You can't trust them.
My grandmother used to have a set of those things. I burn them, worthless.
Remember that commercial from the 90s where that kid with like, he had like hair down to here, kind of above his shoulders and glasses, and he's like, I just ordered Encyclopedia Britannica, whatever. You don't remember those commercials?
Yeah, I don't remember what the kid looked like, but I do remember that.
They were so cheesy and corny. When I was a kid, I'd be like, is this for real? Is there a commercial for encyclopedias? Is that what we're doing? He's making it look cool, but they're encyclopedias. Nobody wants to learn. Get out of here.
I used to pull out the encyclopedias at the house and read them.
My dad bought them from that commercial.
Man, think of how much the internet changed that.
You don't even need that piece of furniture that shit fit into anymore.
Nope.
You just throw that shit out and put a chair in place of it.
I've got no bookcases in my house.
Really? No way.
I do.
You read actual
lying.
books.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Come on,
I got
guys,
I got bookcases in my house. I don't even read books anymore.
Y'all quit looking at me like I'm honest.
I'm above reading.
All right, so you looked into the old Nostrodome?
No, so fucking after that, because I had gotten a lot of stuff off that fucking video, and I left them a comment like, look, this was wrong. So if this was wrong, what else in this video is wrong? All the research that I got off that video, I feel like I need to scrap unless I can find and verify it somewhere else. And by the time I do that, I'm looking somewhere else. So Nostradamus is on hold still. I have another topic, though.
That's good. I want quality Nostradamus.
I know, you guys do, and so do I, really. You know, especially after looking into it as much as I have.
And our enormous fan base of Japanese schoolgirls want quality as well.
Do we have that? We have an enormous fan base of like, Japanese schoolgirls going,
Yeah.
Morgan, you handled that problem like a real Eric.
Which one?
What's that mean?
The Nostradamus thing?
You didn't find information that added up. If you were Joseph, you would have just pile drive through it.
Bro, you got to push through that shit.
You would have picked the one that most fit, and you just said, this is the one I'm going with because it makes sense to me.
And I would love to go with that.
Practical man.
Yeah. I would love to go with that video. They had like interviews with researchers and stuff, but it didn't add up. And I was like, man, I can't do that. It's wrong.
I'll show you how.
Come on in and sit right down. Joseph's going to make you the fool.
So instead, I kind of touched on this last week. This is a hot topic right now.
Hot topic.
I haven't been in that place in a long time.
Well, go. You might find a girlfriend.
I might.
Yeah, I know.
She'd be like 22 or something, maybe.
Yeah, or whatever.
That's fine.
So I brought it up last week in my weekly review. I asked you guys about the vaccines, right? What you guys were going to do now that it's available to people our age. Eric, people our age.
Yeah, not
and,
me.
It's been available to people your age.
Yeah.
When you guys make fun of me, my back hurts. Oh.
They already used it up.
And I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and it's been on my mind. I was talking to one of my good friends the other day who's a doctor, and he was telling me that his husband just got his first shot. He's like, are you going to get your vaccine? And I'm like, I kind of want to wait until I have to get it before I get it, you know? Because I think your uncle mentioned, you know, it just came out too fast, hit the road too fast. And that is a lot of people's hang up on it, right? So I wanted to look it up. I wanted to see what the process is. I want to know how many vaccines there are out there, which it's been 3, it's still 3.
So from what I understand, the vaccine started like years before COVID-19 even hit because
of SARS.
Right.
Yeah.
The COVID, SARS.
There's a coronavirus.
There's like all kinds of
There's different strands. Right. So they had a lot of research already, and I'll go through it. I found a really good article from the University of Maryland. I found another really good article that I've cited its location. I can't remember what it was, but
Wikipedia.
It was Wikipedia. It was Wikipedia and a YouTube channel.
Not Fauci.net.
It was QAnon.
Yeah.
No, but I'm like thinking, okay, I'm going into this. I'm going full-fledged research and looked up what was the first vaccine, and then it popped up, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, everybody knows that. It's a smallpox vaccine. The kid was injected with cowpox, which made him immune to smallpox, and that was from Edward Jenner, no relation to Caitlin.
I'm sorry, I spaced out. This is your topic?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the vaccine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Our COVID vaccine.
I don't know how I missed that. Yeah.
That's all right. I spaced out last week on your topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get you back.
No, it's whatever. Eye for an eye, right?
Over here with a paddle ball. What'd you say? Nostradamus?
Paddle ball. Nostradamus also worked on the plague, by the way. Just a little preview. Yeah. Bloodletting. Let's drain their blood. That'll help get some of the plague out of them.
I've brought that up to my barber on numerous occasions. If they're going to get leeches at the barber shop.
Why would they get leeches?
Because barbers used to do that. They used to do bloodlettings with leeches. It was like a treatment you get when you go to the barber shop.
Oh, for
and
what?
They do that old school thing at the barber shop, you know?
They do at our barber shop, yeah.
And
Dude,
so I want leeches. What's wrong with that?
In my mind, my mind's eye of your personage ranges from like 30 to 97.
What?
Your age. You mentioned these things, and I'm like, how old do you have to be to know that barbers used to bloodlet? Back in my day, the barber would put leeches on you. Oh, I miss the old days. That seems like you're...
Was it a health?
Ancient.
Yeah.
It was a
for
health
health.
thing?
Yeah.
But then you also...
I went to school.
Come
That's
off
where I
as a
learned
very...
these things.
Okay, college boy.
Yeah.
I thought you went to a barber when you were a kid, and they're like, hey there, Sonny. Let me throw these leeches on you.
Let's get the leeches.
Well, I wouldn't have liked it then because I was a kid, but now I'd be like, I need some leeches. How much?
You know what would be nice? Put some leeches on this flab right here. Let's see if we can get that cellulite out of there.
I'm stressed. Put some leeches on my temples.
Can you pop one on this chemical burn right here?
Oh, God. Okay, so that was in 1798, the smallpox vaccine, which was the first recorded vaccination in human history. Anyways, I didn't know if you guys would want to know, but as of today, just under 20% of the South Carolina population is vaccinated from the coronavirus, COVID-19, SARS-2.
Under 20?
Just under 20% of the population. There are 3 vaccinations available: Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. I was hoping that maybe there would be more by now, but there's not. Those were the 3 that I first heard about. Well, actually, I think I first heard about Pfizer. Pfizer was the first one, and if you guys don't know who Pfizer is, they make erections also.
Come on in and
I
sit
make
right
erections.
down. Pfizer's going to give you some wood. I stole that from Family Guy.
So if you get the Pfizer vaccine and have an erection for longer than 4 hours, please contact your doctor. Because they gave you the wrong shot.
I got to go vaccinate my wife. Oh, man, speaking of vaccines, I heard that, I think my sister told me, remember last week Jay was talking about the flu shot he got and the lady like missed or something? I don't even know how that's, I don't know what that means.
I know that's what I didn't either. They're not hitting a vein.
Yeah. I think they have to get it like in the deep muscle tissues. I don't know. But anyways, the symptoms he talked about, like fainting, passing out, my sister mentioned that they're having some issues with that with one of the vaccines, is that some people are just like, they get the vaccine and they just fall out.
Wow.
But then they're fine.
So it didn't, in any of the articles I read, it didn't specify any of that stuff. There have been they kind of said nominal amount of allergic reactions.
Right.
To the Pfizer and the Moderna. There has been no issues with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine yet. And Johnson & Johnson apparently helped put together, and it's in my research here, but they helped put together Ebola vaccines similarly to how they were able to put this together. But they work a lot in South Africa, and there's a different strand in South Africa that is, so their numbers are off. It's showing a 65% success rate worldwide, I think, because of South Africa and the different strain that's there. Something like 85% success rate if you exclude South Africa from it. The other ones are like 95, 97% after.
That's pretty good.
After 2 shots. Johnson & Johnson's a 1-shot wonder.
Are these vaccinations made from the blood of abused children that are passed around between Democrats?
Tears. The tears. Yeah.
Okay.
They take the tears.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke about
They
Johnson
put them in
Johnson.
They put them in a vial and they spin it.
Because it's they do the no tears product.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let's see. Serious side effects would cause long-term health problem that are extremely unlikely following COVID-19 vaccination.
Every time you say COVID-19, I hear that stupid preacher. COVID-19!
Where he blew it away.
Kenneth Copeland?
Kenneth Copeland, yes. I keep thinking Swaggart. There was another one in the 80s. Jimmy Swaggart. Was it in the 80s?
Swaggart, wasn't he in the movie Every Time a Bell Rings an Angel Gets His Wings?
No, it wasn't Swaggart.
James Stewart.
Stewart. It was Jimmy Stewart, yeah.
And the movie was...
Not Miracle on 34th Street.
That was an amazing movie. What the fuck is it called? It's
Yeah,
really depressing, and then it gets really hopeful.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts off with an almost suicide. That's my jam.
I know. And in that time era...
Yeah, that was heavy.
Yeah, that was heavy, isn't it? And it's a Christmas movie. Hey, everyone, come to the theaters. Enjoy. Merry Christmas.
Well, Christmas is hard for everybody, man.
Christmas is hard.
Every time a bell rings, someone takes their life.
I guess that's what it means. Yeah, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it says here that long-term side effects following any vaccination are extremely rare. I don't know how we can determine long-term side effects from a drug that's been out 3 months.
Yeah, does long-term change as the amount of time changes?
It says that vaccine monitoring has historically shown that if side effects are going to happen, they generally happen within 6 weeks of receiving a vaccine dose. For this reason, the FDA required each of the authorized COVID-19 vaccines to be studied for at least 2 months, 8 weeks after the final dose before they would approve it to be released.
You know, they probably do test it on humans a long time ago, like years ago.
Well, I would speculate
when
that
they invented the virus,
or when they invented
it,
when they came out with it. I'm sure they shot some people up with it willingly or unwillingly to see what happens.
I would speculate that different vaccinations act similarly, not all across the board, but there's been other vaccinations for COVID things, I'm sure.
Right. Animals take coronavirus vaccines.
Right. So they're probably going off of the pattern of what's happened previously. I know people get like bent out of shape about like the chemicals and stuff that are in them.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't understand is our body has all kinds of elements in it that you wouldn't think. Like every time you eat fish, you're eating mercury.
And a little bit of radiation.
Right. But people are like, oh my God, it's got this stuff in it. And
yeah,
it's
and
like,
plastic.
the amount that's in there
Plastic, yeah.
is so fucking tiny.
You'd have to eat fish all day, every day,
Well,
for every
actually,
meal.
Some people do that.
Fish, they recommend not eating more than once a week
Oh, no
now
kidding.
because of pollution.
So maybe it's not such
Wow.
a tiny amount.
I'm talking about
the
in
fish.
vaccines.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was just making a comparison of like people get upset about the different chemicals and things that they put in vaccines, but it's a very, 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 very tiny fucking amount.
Yeah.
and we take in all kinds of chemicals in our body all the time.
Did you hear a motorcycle ride by, Joseph?
Is that what that was? I thought I heard something. Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, this many thousand people died. And I'm like, but how many millions and millions of people got the vaccination? Like, that's awful. I don't want anybody to die.
Right.
But if it means we don't have polio anymore, then that's the trade-off.
I could see that. Yeah, we don't have polio anymore in this country.
Polio still exists.
Uh-huh.
Just not in the population.
So that brings me to the anti-vaxxers, right? The kids and I watched one of their videos, one of their YouTube, not theirs, but a YouTube video that they like.
Wow.
And the guy was talking about crazy people
Smart
like
kids.
flat earthers and anti-vaxxers and stuff, and how crazy this
lizard
shit
people.
is. We weren't talking about lizard people today. You know, I look at we have I think all three of us have one of our friends that lives out in the country. They homeschool their kids, but they're anti-vaxxers. At least his wife is.
Right, yeah.
And
That's where you should have
And-
your kids.
So I think I'm also guilty of saying this, but I think it's important to not label it as like crazy because it comes from a place of concern. From what I've seen, the people usually make the argument that I have a right to choose what goes in my or my kid's body.
right.
And to me, that's true to a point, unless you're using public services. If it's like a public health problem, I say that's where it ends. But a lot of people disagree with that. I also don't have kids, but when it comes to my body, I would rather do the thing and not have a public health crisis than put other people at risk.
I always subscribe to the anti-vaxxers are harmful, you know? Like, these people are making poor decisions for their children, in my opinion, you know? It is their decision, and like our friend who's raising his kids in the country, homeschooled, he's keeping them away. That's fine. But all the people that are like cussing out schools and stuff, I can put my kid in school without getting vaccinations, you know, shit like that. And it's like, no, I don't think you can. You know, it's harming your kids, first of all. It's harming other kids, maybe. I've always looked at it like that. And then coronavirus came, the vaccine came, and it came really quick. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to take this vaccine right now. You know, I don't know what it's doing. I don't know where it came from or anything, which was a big reason for me looking it up, because I want to know where it came from. I want to know why it happened so fast. So it says here in this article, this is from the University of Maryland, their medical system.
And now it's time for Science Guy.
Many people are astonished by the unprecedented speed of COVID vaccine testing. The vaccine development process for COVID and any vaccine involves many layers of study, testing, and review. According to the College of Physicians of Philadelphia, vaccines usually take an average of 10 to 15 years to create, and yet the COVID vaccines were developed in less than a year, right? That already throws shade, like, what the fuck? So there's the discovery phase. Before any vaccine testing or development begins, scientists study the structure of the virus and how it causes disease in the body. This allows them to identify potential ways of creating an effective vaccine. This process usually takes several years. In contrast, new technology allowed the genetic makeup of the novel coronavirus to be shared with researchers worldwide in just a few weeks after the first case of COVID-19. Once scientists selected the type of vaccine that looks the most promising, the vaccine is then created in the lab. So what they're saying is one of the biggest reasons that coronavirus vaccine happened so quickly was because of new technology. You know, it was a worldwide pandemic that shut the planet down. I mean, the planet's vibration slowed. Animals came out from hiding, you know, I mean, it shut the planet down.
Yeah.
Cities that hadn't seen clean air in decades.
Could see mountains off in the distance and stuff. Yeah.
Have you seen that? I never know if I pronounced this right. Pussifer, the lead singer of Tool, is
Maynard.
in it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the video for Apocalyptical?
Mm-mm.
Where they're like, it was put out near the beginning of COVID, but they're like going through the streets like a hazmat suit on like a scooter or something, but it's empty. It's like LA or something, and there's nobody in the streets. It's fucking eerie.
Wow,
It's
man.
eerie.
That was during the shutdown that they made it right at the beginning?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I haven't seen that. Check it out. What's it called?
Apocalyptical. I really dig the song, and he doesn't.
I want to go piss.
All right, we're going to take a piss break. Piss break. All right. Welcome back from our piss break. Piss break. Joseph, relieved?
I am. Yeah, I feel better.
Nice.
Can concentrate better.
Was it a good pressure?
Yeah. I still have a pretty good pressure behind it. I can't arc it like I used to, but it's not like just falling straight out and down.
Get your prostate checked.
Well, I'm 52. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can't fire as far as you used to. The older you get.
Gotcha.
It's not always a prostate thing, but I have a doctor's appointment. Hopefully the guy put aside about 3 or 4 hours for me to tell him everything.
Well, when he's digging around down there, have him just give you that vaccination.
I definitely want to get my prostate checked if he'll do it, because I don't want to have something like, I don't want my fucking balls getting eaten up and not be aware of it. I want somebody to do something about it before it becomes a problem.
Devices that fit comfortably.
Yeah. I mean, if it involves him sticking a couple fingers up my ass so I can keep
couple?
my nuts, I'm cool.
Oh, man.
It's a small
Nice.
price to pay to be walking around with a boner.
So anyways,
Hey, you brought it up.
Moderna.
so then there's, after discovery, then there's preclinical testing, which is where they test it on animals. And let's see,
fucking
scientists
animal.
study the vaccine looking at safety and efficacy of the vaccine in animals before moving it to human testing.
We're going to analyze it with science. Let me get my test tube. That's my science guy. Science guy!
Your slide rule.
Yeah. Let me get my abacus.
After preclinical trials, they go into clinical trials. If enough, I know. They go straight from preclinical to clinical.
Nice. Like my ejaculate.
What?
What?
Oh,
You go
yeah,
from like
from pre to-
pre-ejaculate to ejaculate.
If enough research supports a vaccine candidate, it can then be tested using clinical trials involving people. These clinical trials, which have 3 phases, are tightly regulated by the FDA. In the case of COVID-19 vaccine, all 3 phases were planned simultaneously. This was to prevent delays if the vaccine candidate was proven effective.
Hold on. Is preclinical a phase and clinical's a phase?
No, there's 3
Oh.
phases in the clinical.
Oh, okay, I'm back.
That's what I thought too. I had to go back and reread
doesn't
the
make any
first time.
sense.
The first time I read this article, I was like, wait a minute. So they're testing it on animals and humans at the same time? Why not just forego the animals?
Well, we got to
Poor-
torture the animals.
Poor
That's
puppies.
important.
No, there's 3 phases to the clinical trials. And it says usually each phase is planned after the previous one has been completed. That way the companies know whether or not they want to, like, you finish that phase, have all the data from it, and then they're like, okay, we'll pay for the next phase now.
Right.
The thing was that there was such an impouring from the government and from private entities of money. There were billions and billions of dollars all over the world put into this vaccine. So the companies that were creating it didn't have to, they were able to just work and not have to worry about whether or not they wanted to fund it because somebody else has already funded it.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't have to be as scarce with their resources.
Right. And that's what it says. Since companies don't want to put time and money behind the vaccine, if it won't be successful, this may result into 1 to 2 year gaps usually in clinical trials. But with all the money that came in, they were able to rush right through it. So phase 1 of the clinical trial, let's see, a study of usually less than 100 people is designed to determine if the vaccine is safe and the best dosage to check for any serious side effects.
Prisoners are the people they shoot up with the vaccine
Oh,
in phase 1?
Maybe. I know
Okay.
that a lot of times with clinical trials, there will be like an ad put out for clinical trials down in Charleston.
I think
know
I've seen that
MUSC.
back when they used to have papers and you could look up things in the back of the paper to make money on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, we used to have newspapers. Oh, I was young. I would take the silly putty and smush it on the funnies, and then the funnies would be on the silly putty. Oh, God, I'm old.
They'd be like, hey, show up and we'll try this stuff out on you.
Yeah.
Or take these tests or whatever for psychological what the fuck ever.
I know they were doing some LSD testing, was the last clinical trial I saw at MUSC. I don't know what it was for, but I saw it. And
They
I
don't
was
need
like,
to do
man, if I was on drugs, that wouldn't be
This
the one
has
I
been
wanted.
a minute with Science Guy, reminding you to educate yourself, you fool.
So, phase 2 is a larger study with a few hundred volunteers. Oh, so the first one isn't volunteers, or it doesn't say that it's volunteers. It just says usually less than 100 people.
They trick them. You walk through a door and they're like, gotcha.
Want a free bottle of water?
Yeah. Or if you got like a felony or something, you're not really a volunteer.
That's right.
Yikes.
So the larger study with a few hundred volunteers focuses on how well the vaccine works. These studies also continue to investigate its safety and side effects. And then phase 3. An even larger study, often including thousands of volunteers, allows scientists to compare people who received the vaccine to those who did not. And they can better determine if the vaccine is safe and effective in a large population of individuals. Volunteers are randomly selected to receive either the vaccine or an alternate control medication, sugar pills. The control medication is usually a placebo or another vaccine that is already FDA approved. What? They just hit them with another vaccine?
Oh,
Man.
they hit you with something that they know works.
Yeah.
I guess.
I got COVID, but this erection will not stop.
That was crazy. All right. Manufacturing. Traditionally, vaccine manufacturing begins when phase 3 of the clinical trials is being planned.
Phase 3! It's so dumb.
In the case of COVID-19 vaccine, manufacturing began in parallel with the clinical trials to ensure the FDA-approved vaccine candidates would be distributed quickly. Throughout the manufacturing process, batches of the vaccine are tested to ensure that they are packaged and distributed in a way that maintains their effectiveness. The FDA routinely reviews the results of these tests. Additionally, all manufacturing facilities are routinely inspected and expected to meet strict quality and safety standards.
So when a vaccine's rolling out like this as a public health crisis, it's ran through the government. I think that's where people's mistrust comes of it. But scientists literally, that's what they do. They have fail-safe upon fail-safe to make sure that they're doing their job accurately.
Yeah.
And it's not to say mistakes don't happen, but it's like this, you know, those commercials where they're like, find out what scientists are hiding from you. Scientists don't hide stuff from people. Like, they literally want to find out information and let everybody else know. Like, that's their job, is to find out new ways and techniques to do things, new vaccines, new whatever. They research it, they look into it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And they put that information out. And all of that information you can look into. The problem is, this is why I dislike QAnon so much, is the mechanism of QAnon has people believing that if you take your limited amount of knowledge and look at all this medical information and find a mistake, you could very easily just not understand the information you're looking at. But then they'll be like, oh, there's not really all these deaths. Look, the CDC printed this thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people trust their own connections between things that they may know very little about over scientists. It's not the government that's worked on this vaccine. It's been scientists that have been doing it. People that go in and get paid to do this. They're everyday people like you or me going in to do their job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that was my soapbox.
I can agree with that. I could definitely agree with that. I think that that's my buddy Todd's big argument with somebody I know personally that may or may not suffer from Munchausen by proxy. You know, when this person comes up with an illness for their children.
Joseph.
I don't do that with my kids.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's a joke, Joseph.
I don't do that with my kids.
What Todd usually says is, where'd she get her medical degree? And that's it. Like, these people put in time to get their medical license and stuff, and you can't just go around Googling. Oh my God, she asked me if I Googled like an issue with my kid, the one that's in the hospital. He's got some air in his stomach or whatever. She was like, oh my God, did you Google it? And I'm like, fuck no, I didn't Google. Why would I Google it? Google's just going to make it worse. I'm not Googling
It's going to
that.
make it scarier.
Let the doctors tell me what's going on.
That's like people that try and like diagnose themselves with like psychiatric stuff. Is you don't have all of the information. You can look it up in a book, but you don't understand the full context of all of it. I always want to pull Q into it because there's all these theories out, right? That there's like microchips in this thing, or they're trying to do population control. Just people being mistrustful and trying to go in and look up information on their own with their medical degree.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't need a medical degree to realize that if blah, 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 masks don't work. Yes, they do.
Right.
But, you know, they're trying to put microchips in. We all carry phones around with us. How many scientists would have to play along with each other if something like that were going on? Think of how many thousands and thousands of scientists across the world have worked on this thing, not just in the U.S.
Right.
It's my soapbox again.
That's all right. So my girlfriend was telling me when we were talking about the vaccine a couple weeks ago, I think probably when it first came available for everyone 16 and up, which, by the way, only one of the vaccines is available for everyone 16 and up, and I think it's Pfizer. I'll get to it.
Really?
But anyways, Brandy brought up the Thalodomide Scandal. Are you guys familiar with that vaccine?
I want to hear about that.
It's got the word scandal in it.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, try this new vaccine, Thalodomide Scandal.
It was part of the name.
It was widely used in the 50s and 60s, and it was created. Well, I don't know why it was created, but what they used it for was to cure damn near everything from cold, stomach issues, morning sickness. The issue was that it was causing birth defects and miscarriages in women. And it was used for years before they were able to tie it in and say, this is where it's coming from. Because women were specifically using it while they were pregnant, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. And it was, anyways. So she was like, you know, that was out for over 10 years and whatever, you know, I don't know how badly I want to get into this. But that was also the fucking 50s. And one of the things in the article that I was reading was talking about how far we're advanced, even in the last 10 years, how much we've advanced in our technology, where we don't even have to, like the flu vaccine is a dead virus. We don't even have to do that anymore. And that's not what the COVID-19 vaccine is.
Right.
Anyways, so back to...
Wasn't there a more recent example that I haven't researched this information because I just now found out that we were doing COVID or the vaccine in Brazil. What was it, like 10 years ago or something, where they had vaccines that people were taking that led to a large population of children being born with the small head thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not familiar
Zika?
with that.
I thought Zika was...
That was Brazil, wasn't it?
I thought Zika had something to do with like mosquitoes.
Yeah, but it was like some type of vaccination that people were taking.
So like mistakes are
made. Mistakes do get made. I'm not pushing a QAnon thing.
Right.
So
I was speaking more of the
don't
people
attack me.
that go. I'm not. Jesus. I was speaking more of like people that go straight for they're trying to do something villainous. Like, here's an example. There's a heartburn medicine that recently got pulled that people have been taking for decades, myself included, that has a high risk of causing like cancer or some shit. And we've had that stuff out for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's, you've got to weigh the whisks. You've got to weigh the risks.
Those damn whisks.
And when you like Morgan talked about, it shut the whole globe down. So
It did. Yeah.
you have to weigh how many people is this going to kill without a vaccine. Yes, there's possible risk from this vaccine, but we need to make something happen.
Yeah.
Especially because we're so fucking willful in this country. The things we need to do to stop the virus from happening, we're not willing to do. We're just not.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's a cultural thing.
New Zealand shut this shit down like immediately. And then when they got like 1 or 2 more cases again, like months later, they did it again.
Yep.
And they don't deal with it. It's like they eradicated it because they dealt with it.
Yeah.
I think it's our politics. Our politics get so infused in everything, and people just want to be right about their side of things. They don't want to look at what's actually.
It is fucked up that the topic got politicized.
You know, I'm going to say that I didn't want to bring politics into the vaccine part of it. A lot of it did, especially a year ago. A lot of it was, it was very polar in the politics. Red this, blue that. And
with the vaccine, there are still people.
I think that there are people on both sides that find the vaccine fishy and don't want to take it. And there are people on both sides that are like, you're fucking stupid, take the vaccine. That's what I'm seeing from my friends that are both Republican and Democrat is, it's weird how non-polar the vaccine seems to me. There are people on the right that will use like the QAnon approach and mask.
You mean bullshit?
They'll if that's what we're calling it.
Yeah, they'll come to the party with their bullshit and be like, "Oh, I'm smarter than you because Q is letter."
Q is a letter. Sorry.
I've noticed a lot of things that I enjoy about this whole pandemic thing. Like there's less people in spaces. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with the mask. Most people look better with a mask on.
They asked me in church this morning because the churches have opened back up to like full seating or whatever, but they were like, "Are you kind of okay with being like right next to somebody?" And I was like, "Nope."
Yeah.
I never have been. It's not because of the pandemic. I just don't like people crowd me in church and stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of these things I think are an improvement. Like we were talking about how during the pandemic, animals started coming out into places that were previously held by like fat kids screaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
The squirrels start coming back in the kill zone.
I've been eating squirrel ever since.
Back to my research. Guys, let's stay on topic. To minimize the chance of losing money, companies usually want to see overwhelming evidence that the vaccine will ultimately be effective and worthy of FDA approval before moving to the next step of testing. And this leads to gaps in funding. So in the case of COVID-19 vaccine, public and private entities united to pour money into development efforts. Billions of dollars from the government and nonprofits allowed development to take place unimpeded by cost constraints. So that's what I was talking about, because there was so much money, they didn't have to wait and see if it was going to work. They were just like, fuck it, get it out there.
Do it, make it.
But they see, make it, distribute it. Let's keep doing the research.
My understanding is they were still doing all the testing they would have done before.
Right. They just did it simultaneous.
Right.
Yeah.
They just didn't stop to make sure their funding wasn't being thrown down the drain. Because one of the vaccines early on, they were worried they were having a problem with some type of allergic reaction that was happening in a percentage of people. That can tank a vaccination. If it's having like a large amount of reactions in people, they're not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
There might be a value to it, but not for, if it's turning people into zombies, you want to keep that, but it's not fixing the problem.
We just going to keep this one in the pocket.
Yep.
Pocket.
In the pocket. My name is Bucky. It's a new character I'm creating.
Okay, this is the title of this section, Pre-Approved Vaccine Manufacturing. To cut costs, companies usually wait until vaccines FDA approved, blah, blah, blah. In the case of COVID-19, companies...
Now, what phase are we on there, Morgan?
Companies receive funding from the government federal agencies to cover manufacturing costs up front. Oh, this is manufacturing, not the trials and stuff. So millions of potential vaccine doses were created before they were even approved to ensure the FDA-approved vaccine candidates could be distributed faster. So they went ahead and made them, get them made, and then get them approved. That way, when they're approved, we don't have to then manufacture them. They're already made and ready to go. Oh, that was smart.
In a warehouse, waiting for people to leave out of a refrigerator and spoil on purpose.
I was thinking about that pharmacist. Because I was like, did that guy know something? What's up?
No, man. There's
well,
good,
got a letter from
there's
you.
good doctors and there's
It's
bad
an intentions
doctors.
thing, He probably thought he was doing the right thing. Just
Right.
like Nazis think they're doing the right thing,
A lot of people got freaked out because of this. There's like an mRNA. There's a type of genetic
that's in
stuff
my research,
in there.
yeah.
And people claim it rewrites your DNA, which it doesn't. But you have to understand that to understand why. I don't, but I trust scientists. I don't trust like Marjorie Fuckface or whatever her name is.
Right.
Marjorie
That's,
Taylor Greene.
Is that her name?
I don't know. The representative. That's like the representative. It's like
Have another drink.
She's like a QAnon lady.
Oh, okay. I don't know any QAnon people except for the guy with the antlers.
One of them apparently thinks he's a lot like Jesus. Like, oh my God.
He hears it all the time.
He's got people backing that shit up. He's like, yeah, people told me I'm a lot like Jesus.
I imagine Jesus probably had those issues too. Of people not believing him.
Maybe. If Jesus was anything close to that, y'all on the wrong track.
So vaccine candidates, and when I say that, the candidates aren't people. The candidates are like the vaccines. Like this could be a vaccine. Vaccine candidates are not proven safe and effective during clinical trials and aren't approved by the FDA. They will not be distributed. Familiar viruses. While SARS-CoV-2 is well known as coronavirus, was new to the world, the family of viruses that it came from was familiar to infectious disease scientists. The scientists were already researching potential vaccines for other coronaviruses such as SARS and MERS, so they could apply as much of that information to what they were already developing to the new vaccine because they were already working on that stuff. Additionally, the SARS-CoV-2 caused an acute illness that makes it inherently easier to vaccinate against. Vaccines against viruses that cause chronic illnesses such as HIV are way more difficult to develop. So the new vaccine development technologies, there are many ways to develop a vaccine, but in the last decade, scientists have made significant achievements in this area. For example, older vaccines were typically created using weakened or inactive viruses. Today, companies can simply read a virus's genetic code and synthesize it in a lab, significantly shortening development times. Other recent advantages, this is where it goes into the genetics. Let's see.
Prepare yourself for another tangent in 5, 4.
Scientists' understanding of how to create the effective. Yes.
Professor Morgan, when you said synthesize, I had a funny thought go through my head.
Of a synthesizer?
Yeah, you know the movie Nerds, 80s movie, Revenge of the Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that like contest on stage and the smoke, and they're like, you know what I'm talking about? They get up there and they got the synthesizers. No, I wish I could remember the song. Y'all remember that movie, Booger?
Yeah, I remember the movie. Yeah. all the guys on there, Booger was the grossest. He was the easiest one to remember because you're a kid and he's like, his name's Booger. But then there was the big brute bully guy that ended up becoming a nerd on one of the later movies. Yeah.
But yeah, they had that talent contest and synthesizers. That was not funny. It was funny to me. In my head, it was.
Joseph, have you seen Revenge of the Nerds?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wow.
You've never seen Revenge of the Nerds?
No, but when you said a weekend virus, I heard weekend virus. I was like, oh, you mean like syphilis?
See, when I heard that, I thought like flip flops and sweatpants.
Oh yeah, weekend
Like
virus.
a weekend,
He's just chilling
just
out,
chilling,
laying on the couch watching Netflix.
So, anyways,
his name's Chad. He rides a Sea-Doo.
He fucks your girlfriend when you're at work.
He wears visors constantly.
did you say visors or Pfizers?
Ooh,
Pfizer
visors.
Pfizer visors. All right. Speaking of Pfizer,
yes,
the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are made using the messenger RNA, the mRNA that you were talking about.
the one that rewrites your DNA so that you can be mutated into a superhuman.
That would be cool.
Is that what we're talking about?
I think everyone's got to get the vaccine, and then they're going to hit a button in the White House, and suddenly,
well,
you're just going to fall 10 floors because you're phasing through things now.
I think it's tied to the voting machines, and that they're going to hit the button and be able to control.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast, oddly enough, related to this. I'll send it to y'all rather than going into it or plugging that podcast because they got a lot of attention already.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
But I'll send it to you. You can listen to it or not listen to it. I don't give a fuck. I'm just the light. You have to make the effort.
What's the podcast about? You're not saying. You're just saying there's a podcast.
It's about the virus.
It was related to this topic, actually.
Oh, okay.
I just listened to it yesterday.
Oh, the
I was
mRNA.
like, and so I thought it was unusual. Yeah, the
vaccine,
the rewriting DNA, the vaccine, and then it went on to a bunch of other stuff. But I'm not going to go into it. So I'll just send it to you.
So the mRNA technology, it's using. Sorry, the Pfizer and Moderna are using the mRNA, and it's a technology that delivers a bit of genetic code to cells. In effect, a recipe to make surface protein known as a spike on the SARS-2 virus. The protein made with the mRNA instructions activate the immune system, teaching it to see the spike protein as foreign and develop antibodies and other immunity weapons with which to fight it. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine uses a different approach to instruct human cells to make the SARS-2 spike protein, which, what are you doing? Are you on your phone over there?
What are you doing?
My wife's texting me.
I'm just kidding. I don't
She's
care.
going to bring our sticky stickers up. We're going to have a sticker fight.
So the Johnson & Johnson activates the SARS-2. It activates cells to make the SARS-2 spike protein, which then triggers the immune response known as a viral vectored vaccine. Viral vectored vaccine.
Wow, you're really nerding out this time.
Alliteration. Yeah, he is nerding out, isn't he? I'm okay with it. I'm not judging you.
The virology vector.
A harmless adenovirus from a large family of viruses, some of which cause the common cold, have been engineered to carry the genetic code for the SARS-2 spike protein. Once the adenovirus enters the cells, they then use the code to make spike proteins. And Johnson & Johnson employed the same approach with the Ebola virus that has been authorized to use by the European medical agencies. I guess Ebola is maybe more prominent in that side of the world.
Have you ever seen like an illustration of a virus where they draw what a virus looks like?
I've seen the microscopic. I've seen COVID.
Well, COVID's a little different. Some of the, I guess in a way, some of them look like little robots. Like if we were to make nanotechnology, not bacteria, but viruses. Some viruses look like little tiny robots to me. So if we were to do like nanotechnology, I imagine they would kind of look like viruses. They've got like these jewel-shaped heads with these like very geometric legs on them. You know,
Wow.
You don't remember that from like high school?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If I saw one, I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, that's what he's talking
I'll
about.
giggle it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I kind of want to see a picture of one.
So I'm thinking that the one-shot Johnson & Johnson might be the best one to sign up for. However, when you ask what's the best COVID-19 vaccine to take, it says the one that's nearest to you.
The one you can get stabbed by.
I would like to thank our new sponsor, Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
No,
Our new sponsor.
Take the Johnson & Johnson. Yeah. Continue with the topic.
I'm done. Get the vaccine. It's the closest one to you. Is the best one to take.
Oh, okay.
That's seriously what it said. So I don't know.
I think the one-shot one is important because it's easier, especially long-term. It's easier for people to follow up on. Like, typically, you don't like to give interventions in two-part processes because a whole lot of assholes just don't show up for the second part. COVID's different because it's a pandemic. Everybody want that injection.
Yeah.
A special identification card that allows you to do things because you've been vaccinated.
Right. Everybody wants to get vaccinated so they can go back to life. But typically with like interventions of any type with illnesses, you don't want someone having to show back up 2 weeks later.
Oh, yeah. Statistically, people don't take medication the way they're supposed to. And if
what are you, my therapist?
No, that's just like that's a thing.
It is.
People get prescribed medicine. They often don't even get it filled.
They I did some work with people who have severe and persistent mental illnesses like schizophrenia, thank you. They went to shots, long-term shots with a lot of the medication. It's better because you're more compliant that way. You take a shot every 3 weeks. So even if you're not compliant, at least this dude's got 3 weeks of being on medication before he doesn't show up for a shot. Starts
doing stuff that's socially unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I wanted to mention that I talked to Lafitte, and I think would like to get him back in here as soon as possible to do another episode with us that we can hear him better on.
I kind of want Lafitte to do a topic.
He can do that.
I want y'all all to discuss your strong male role models and how important it is to be a man while I sit in the corner and cry.
Okay.
That episode I wasn't here for. Y'all were talking about like male masculinity and all that. And I barely made it through a couple times. I'm like, God, bunch of fucking chauvinists.
And I'm like, Eric wouldn't like this.
Yeah. That machismo. It was interesting. I enjoyed that episode.
Oh, cool.
And I would like to meet the guy. And
I would like for you to meet him too, man. He's one of my very close friends. So are you.
Joseph was like all excited by how masculine of a guest y'all had. He's like, Eric's gone and we're all being men.
He kept looking at Lafitte's crotch and drooling. I didn't know what that was about.
Man, this dude could kick some ass. Y'all
yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. Yeah, I enjoy the company of men.
Yeah,
you know,
manly men.
I don't get down. Women are fucking pain in the ass, dude. Okay, let's not get into it.
Yeah, but I've got a dick, but I don't really typically act as male as you do. I don't. I cross weird boundaries and stuff, and you're like, dude, you're being weird. I'll text Joseph how important he is to me, and he just ignores it.
That's all right. I text Joseph things like, I remember like years ago, I'd be talking to him about stuff, and I'd be like, hey, man, I'd text him later, and hey, I appreciate you listening to all my bullshit, man. Thanks a lot. And I just never hear anything or get like a thumbs up emoji or something like that. And it's like, damn, dude. Okay.
Let's not make it weird.
Let's not make it weird.
I'll text him like, what are you doing? Sharpening my blades on a strap of leather. Cool.
It does get that little bit of like fine grit off the edge of the cutting. It makes it just a tiny bit sharper.
Just making some brownies in my Easy Bake.
Hey, Joseph makes brownies too. He made me a wonderful divorce brownie.
Oh, that was badass.
Yeah, did you ever see the picture of it?
Divorce. There's a holiday I am okay with celebrating.
Oh, cool. Well, it was January 7th, and it takes work and money.
I feel like it should be celebrated just like the anniversary thing is.
Yeah,
for,
that is
weddings.
an anniversary. Yeah.
But birthdays, get out of here with that nonsense.
I want to celebrate my divorce anniversary. My last
be okay with
girlfriend
that.
before this one, I have a lot of things to say about her that I'm not going to say. However, I will say that she was not cool with my divorce party.
Divorce party.
She didn't like my brownie either, did she?
No, she didn't like the fact that I posted a picture of the brownie along with like thanking people for coming to my divorce party. She was like, it's just drawing more attention to your marriage and blah, blah, blah. Get the fuck out of my face, you stupid fucking cunt.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't much care for her.
So what was it, January?
January 7th.
Joseph, when's your birthday? 15th?
15th. I don't know when my divorce was. I kind of want to look up when my divorce was and start making a holiday out of it. I like this idea, and I think we should encourage it.
All right.
Annie and I are planning ours like for around like May. So it's warm outside and I'll be homeless. So I won't have to deal with the cold of winter.
Oh, and we could play volleyball or something for your divorce party.
Yeah. I go hang
That'll
out.
be fun.
Transition and start selling my medication.
Glad you planned it.
Yeah, we're working on it. Love you, Annie. All right, well, I think we're.
Was that enough on the topic?
Plug? I think so. That was a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That was a lot. I guess the thing I would offer is trust scientists. If you don't have like a doctorate or degree in virology or what the fuck ever, then maybe you looking at that medical information and figuring it out for yourself is not the best idea.
Now, I can get behind some of that. I trust people to manufacture cars that I will drive like 80 miles an hour in, you know?
I wasn't
I can trust
like
people
directing
on
that at you.
And you wanted to. I kept my mouth shut though. I'm
No.
not in the mood for a fight.
I've got
Shit.
Jesus. No, I've got I got that Jesus guy in my mind because it's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Oh, not the actual Jesus. You're
Not
talking
the
about,
actual,
okay,
the
all right.
guy that a lot of people have said, I'm a lot like Jesus.
Right.
God's got big things in store
I
for
think
me.
it's interesting that he had somebody kind of mentioning that to him, and I'm a little disappointed that my friends don't support me in a similar way. Maybe I should start messaging those guys so I can get some encouragement in that area. You guys don't. I need y'all to back up my cult.
You're more of a Judas. You dick. If anybody's
Judas played an extremely important role in that story.
okay, and so I'm talking to a guy, nobody knows who the fuck I'm talking about, but in one of this crazy QAnon person's posts, he was like going on this long garbled rant about who he is as a person and he's a warrior for God. He's like, I don't require a following, and that's good because I don't have one. If you've thought about whether or not you have a following, I'm going to go ahead and guess that you want a following because normal people don't just think, I don't have a group of people following me around. Like, that's not a thought that occurs unless you thought, I could really have a group of people following me around. But out of the three of us, Morgan would have a group of people following him around.
He would.
He's the most charismatic.
Yeah.
He'd be like, hey, you guys want some fish? And there'd be like 40 people that are like, hey, man, let's eat fish.
Wait a second. I think I got it.
Whoa.
And he'd be like, if we all just take one bite of this fish,
So we
it
put
will
this.
feed us all.
We agree to put this cult thing together. Morgan's the
What?
face we put on the cult
Did we agree to
to
that?
develop a following.
Is that in your notes, Eric? Did
we
we all
agree to
agree on
that?
that?
You and I'll handle the research and the mind control.
Dude, I got to tell you, I was impressed by the reflective sunglasses thing. I think you're onto something there.
That's a thing. That
Yeah.
is a thing, I think.
Because when you talk to somebody with reflective sunglasses, they see themselves telling them whatever you're saying.
I think that's why cops do them.
So it's like subliminally, you're telling yourself whatever the fuck Joseph's saying, which is scary. Now, the grabbing your nuts and like making
Sitting
a whole
down.
show of that to the room.
That's a thing.
It works.
Okay,
it's
it's just
a-
not my thing. I mean, it's a thing.
yeah.
I see him do it.
It's like, yeah, the nuts are over here, They are sitting. Everybody chill. And I'm standing up. I'm grabbing my nuts.
Scooped them.
Tense up.
They're
Back up
good.
a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joseph, I texted him, thanking him for the hard work he put in this week, because he put in some hard work this week. They worked long hours, and I wasn't available to help because I had the kids. I thanked him, and he replied he did that mind control thing where he replies with, "You do the same for me." And so I responded back with a star robot voice, and then a period after each word. I would do the same for you. Mind control.
It worked.
It is. Our last president employed that a lot. He'd be like, everybody knows I did a great job at this. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like you tell people what they know. Yeah.
There was a lot of shit to learn from watching that dude. There was a lot of stuff to be learned from that.
Unfortunately. Dude, and people eat that stuff up. They do, man. People don't want to hear a long, drawn-out explanation of something. They want simple phrases that they can catch on to, like "Make America Great Again." They don't
You don't
want
want to think about what that could mean.
They don't want to break it down and get scientific with it. They want like a simple phrase of "This is what I stand for," whether I understand it or not.
Yeah, so I would agree. There's certainly stuff to be learned from that. Just like with everyone, there's something to be learned from everyone in every situation you're in. There's like a positive, there's some kind of benefit a piece of fruit you can glean from it, all of it. That's my positive note.
Well, I think we've fucked this horse.
What did he just say?
All right, well, have a good evening.
Have a good morning.
Or whatever time.